And though you got a ton of pushback early, it is becoming harder and harder to not at least discuss it. You said something during the break to be about Mahomes and Brady. I think it's worthy of public dissemination. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I'll do this quickly because then there is something I need to say to you. If Mahomes wins a week from Sunday, if he loses, it's 7-1 Brady, and that's a very, very hard mountain to climb. But if he wins a week from Sunday, are we potentially just 1 year away from being able to make the argument Patrick Mahomes is already the GOAT? Not that he will be, but that he already is. If he wins a week from Sunday, and then they win again next year, would be the first guy, first team, first player, first anything in the NFL to win 3 in a row. Oh,
it
there
is
was more
something
there.
to think
Why
about.
did we cut that short? That was very fascinating. I wanted to hear more.
We gotta,
I don't want to hear it anymore.
I was like
run the
locked in.
Huddle.
I thought I was going to keep going.
I know, so was I.
I wasn't.
Hey, Bucks wideout
out.
Scotty Miller turned some heads with that blazing touchdown in the NFC title game. He and Tyreek Hill will be two of the fastest players on the field in the Super Bowl next Sunday. But who would win in a race between the two? Scotty says Scotty.
How would you do if you and Tyreek Hill lined up?
Oh, I'm taking me every day of the week. I'll take me over anybody. Tyreek is unbelievable, super quick, unbelievable talent. But if we're talking about a race, I mean, I got all the confidence in myself against going up against anybody.
Wait, you think you're the fastest guy in the NFL?
Yes, sir.
Well, Tyreek heard. He replied with this: "Hell of a player, good for him." Someone's taking the high road. Brandon, who you take in a race between Tyreek or Scotty?
Jenna, Nick gave him the nickname Scotty Too Hottie. Tyreek's nickname is the Cheetah. Come on, like, really? He didn't even believe that at the end. He was like, me. He didn't even believe it. I'm going with the Cheetah all day.
All right, listen, I don't blame Scotty Miller for this. We're all parents. Wilds, hot take here alert.
Yeah.
I blame Scotty Miller's parents. This is the product of a culture that tells kids you can literally be anything. Guess what? Probably can't. I love all my kids. There's one that has a chance at, like, you can be president. The other two, drawing dead. No chance whatsoever. I love all my kids.
He is
There's
fast, though,
one
Nick.
that
He
has
ran
a
a
chance
4.33.
of ever being a varsity athlete. It's like, oh, no, you can make the WNBA one day. No, you can't. His parents lied to him, and he made the NFL, so he bought into the lies. Guess what? Parents, encourage your children, but don't lie to them. Don't tell them, oh, yeah, you can be the fastest man alive. No, you can't. You can't.
Okay. All right. So a few things.
That's terrible.
One, you know I wake up and read the internet front to back every morning before the show. And, of course, once I saw this, I'm like, oh, I got to dig into Scotty Miller highlights when he was running track. And he has one of those 4x100 relays. I'm a sucker for all those. You get the baton. Where is he? Oh, here he comes, Mr. Too Hottie. Reason number 2. Remember Tyreek Hill is prone to underestimating people. If you remember this great highlight from this summer, when a high school recruit cooks Tyreek Hill. Now, I'm not saying that Tyreek Hill is not fast, but we do have visual evidence of him being cooked by a high school kid. Just saying.
Okay. He's not a corner.
He's not a cornerback.
It's a bad take.
And therein lies the
I don't know.
evidence.
Was he in front of the guy?
Scotty Too Hottie ran a 4.33.
Got to do how he's fast.
All right,
Yeah,
Wiles,
that's not fast
you
enough.
teased this earlier. We got to head to Los Angeles, where a report says John Wolford, the Wolf man, Wolf person, could compete for the Rams starting quarterback job if Jared Goff isn't traded. Brandon, who should Rams fans want as their starting quarterback next season, Wolf man or the Goff man?
Oh my goodness, this show is just comical today. Are we really discussing this? It's Jared Goff. Now look, he has some turnover problems, and I'm gonna continue to stand on the table and fight everybody about this one take. The biggest indicator in wins and losses in the National Football League is turnovers. But he can get that, he can change that, I believe.
Come on, give it to us.
This dude has led his team to the Super Bowl 2018. okay? He's shown us that he can throw for over 4,500 yards. Does he need to change some things? Absolutely. But if it's a discussion between these two, I'm going with Goff. I don't know about this kid and his LinkedIn page, Wilds and Nick. Forget that.
Yeah. I mean, this strikes me as somebody trying to get someone else to say we need to break up. This is you're in a long-term relationship and all of a sudden you start DMing other people and you leave your phone just sitting right next to your partner, like daring them to look through it. Like, I want you to find this. These leaks just basically insulting Jared Goff, begging him to pull a Deshaun Watson, saying, I need out of here, so the Rams can then be like, well, if you want out, that's fine, but we're going to have to adjust that contract, make it tradable. This is all about Goff's contract. This is all about the Rams feeling handcuffed, and the Rams are now passive-aggressive, leaking to the media that the Wolfman, who I think was working at ITT Tech a couple months ago, might take his job.
Okay.
Like, this is insane. This is insane behavior, but I actually understand what they're doing, Wilds.
All right, you want to talk about job security, ball security? That's one thing. You want to talk about Jared Goff's contract? That's another thing. You want to come after the Wolfman? You got to come through me, buddy. The Wolfman and Brandon, don't take shots at the Wolfman's LinkedIn page. It's a quality way to get a job, whether you're a professional athlete or a financial analyst. And also, hey, getting into the segment, Wolford, like to hear his take on the GameStop controversy. We should get Wolford on. We can talk about Goff and GameStop and hit them all. Be right there in the moment, right in the pop culture and financial sports
Confession,
zeitgeist.
Wilds.
Go ahead, Brandon.
buddy.
I got on LinkedIn yesterday. I'm live.
Brandon can play quarterback
You
for the
made an
Rams
account.
now.
I am on LinkedIn.
Brandon made a LinkedIn? What is happening?
Casey plays.
I'm gonna
on to
friend
New
you or
Orleans.
connect you.
Saints GM Mickey Loomis said, we'll wait on Drew Brees to make a decision on his future. It's like the career that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friend. Brandon, who is the Saints' best option at quarterback next season?
Come on, first off, it's over. Can we throw this video real quick? I want to show you. They knew this was the last game. If you see Drew Brees and his wife just taking this in, I played there. And after every game, the whole team stands out there, throw the football around. It's like a nice little gathering spot. But I never seen Drew and his wife do this. It is over. And Nick, they have everything they need on that roster. Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill.
Taysom could be a good slot receiver for Jameis. If we're not talking about them trading for a quarterback or acquiring one in free agency because they have no money, then the obvious answer is Jameis Winston. Drew Brees, we all know it, first ballot Hall of Famer, all-time great, nobody denies it. He's done, and Taysom, grand opening, grand closing with that 4-game sample we got. He's not a starting quarterback. Jameis, LASIK surgery revamped Jameis, I do think is the Saints' only option on the roster, and that doesn't mean I think it's a good option, but Wilds, it's their only option.
Well, I think it's a good option. I like Jameis, but I don't see Taysom Hill's role changing. Not the starter role, but the Taysom Hill role, which is best filled by Taysom Hill. So, okay, so that's what I say. I see Jameis starting, taking about 70% of the snaps, and then, the Saints' whole squad falling back in love with Taysom Hill, and then he starts to get 55% of snaps, then 45, then 35. All of a sudden, Taysom Hill's a starter by week 8.
Oh, well, that I don't.
Later than I thought. That's deeper into the season than I would have said. Hey, the Texans have reportedly hired David Culley to be their next head coach. Culley spent the last 2 seasons in Baltimore as the assistant head coach. Also coordinated the pass game and coached receivers. John Harbaugh said this back on January 11th, quote, I do believe that David Culley would be a tremendous hire for any team. Maybe, especially the Texans with Deshaun Watson. Brandon, will this hire be enough, do you think, to keep Deshaun Watson there in Houston?
Well, first, Coach deserves this spot. it's probably 10 years too late. There's a lot of hidden gems in the National Football League like Coach DC. This is a dude who knows how to lead. This is a dude who knows how to move players. From what I'm hearing from guys in the Ravens organizations and other places he's been, this is a guy that can get the job done. But it's too late for the Texans to try to figure this thing out with Deshaun. This is the new NFL, modern athletes. Modern athletes, it's not about sticking with one team for 10, 15 years. It's about what have you done for me lately? NFL stands for not for long, and it's always been one-sided. Players are now starting to understand, they're starting to understand the power that they have. And if I'm Deshaun Watson, knowing that I have the potential to lead my team to 2 or 3 Super Bowl victories, then I'm going to look in other places. And I think that's what Deshaun Watson's doing, and he's also looking for a little bit more structure from the top.
Yeah, listen, I have no idea, and nobody has any idea if David Culley's going to be a good head coach. I am glad he got the opportunity. Tyreek Hill tweeted out that he was the wide receivers coach in Kansas City. Tyreek's rookie year helped him a ton. His resume has some tough spots. He was the wide receivers coach in Kansas City the year the Chiefs literally had 0 wide receiver touchdowns. He was the quarterbacks coach Josh Allen's rookie year when Brandon explained he was last in everything. And the passing game coordinator for the 2020 Ravens is not necessarily like a top of the resume line. But on a human side, all the people who've worked with him vouch for this guy, and it does seem like he got an opportunity maybe a decade after he should have. When it comes to Deshaun, though, the earth has been salted there, Wilds. So my advice to David Culley would be call up Brian Flores, not to trade Deshaun, but to ask him, what do I do when I'm taking over a team that is in full-on, full-blown rebuild? Because Brian Flores took over that Dolphins team that everyone said was tanking and got him damn near 500 his first year and almost in the playoffs this year. So that's got to be Culley's approach, understanding Deshaun's probably not going to be there. He's going to have a blank slate for his first NFL coaching job.
Yep. Yeah, but Nick, I'm going to throw it back to you in a second. I hope Culley does well. I hope the Texans organization can kind of right some of their missteps. It's also noteworthy that this means that Eric Bieniemy did not get one of these jobs. And to me, this continues to be surprising because let's say the Chiefs, as much as it pains me, let's say the Chiefs are sort of like on their way to be a dynasty, just like the Patriots were. When the Patriots were rolling, it was every day, knock, knock, knock. Can we have, one of your assistants be a head coach? Romeo Crennel, Bill O'Brien, who then hired Vrabel, who did a little stint with the Patriots, obviously as a player too. Mangenius, Matt Patricia, McDaniels, Brian Flores, and Joe Judge. And some of those guys, did well. Some of them did okay. And some of the verdict is still out on some other guys. But Nick, to me, the idea that Eric Bieniemy and that none of these teams hired Eric Bieniemy is just a major mistake.
I agree, but I also, for Eric, am glad he didn't take the Texans job. He should have gotten a job in the original hiring cycle, but that Texans job is such a tough build once you move on from Deshaun.
That's right.
I think he can find a better spot after he wins his 3rd straight Super Bowl next year. I think that's probably more likely.